So this time we'll be taking a look at the Dark Knight Rises Movie Masters figure of Alfred Pennyworth. And I must say that I'm really glad to finally have this figure, because I had kind of a little adventure in getting him. As you know, or may not know, he is only one per case of these figures as they come into the store, so obviously he's going to go sooner rather than later. And seeing as this is the first Alfred figure that we've had at retail, even for the movie line too, he's a figure. I mean, you wouldn't think that Alfred would be in demand, but he is. Because really, you have to have an Alfred with Batman, and you know, it is part of the mythos of Batman for there to be an Alfred, the father-like manservant figure. It's a really neat dynamic, and one that's core to the character, I think. So he does come with the piece to build the bat signal projector. It's this piece right here, the rear of the lamp part, I guess you would say. Also on the back of the package, you can see the other figures in this wave. Batman, which is just a re-release of the Dark Knight Batman, which I really don't want to purchase again, but I guess I will probably have to build the bat signal projector. There's Bane, which I've previously done a video for, and not pictured here, some of these waves, I guess, or some of these cases come with a Catwoman as well. She's shown up somewhere, but I think she's going to be more prevalent in the next wave, which will also feature Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character and a mystery figure, or one that hasn't been announced yet. So looking at the figure itself, the sculpt is alright. It is not really 100% Michael Caine, but you do kind of get the idea. I think it needs to be a little bit thinner down here in the cheeks, but it's still pretty nice. It reuses pretty much the standard suit body from DC previously released figures in the movie Masters wave, like Harvey Dent, and even some of the DC Universe figures have used this mold as well, like The Question, and or at least parts of it. So it's nothing new. Just the head sculpt is new. So, but that's not too much of a problem, because the you know, it's just cool to have a Alfred figure. Now, articulation is pretty much the standard for the DC Universe Movie Masters stuff, or at least the Batman Movie Masters stuff. His head does go left and right, up and down, side to side. Arms do go all the way around, out to the side. He rotates there. And something that I've noticed on my figure, maybe it's not on all, but he has a little bit of a rip there on his bicep swivel, which is a little bit disconcerting to me. I didn't notice that before, but I posed him with his hands behind his back, so maybe that caused a little bit of a stress to that section. So I'm going to have to avoid putting him back into that pose. But he does have an elbow, single elbow joint, and his wrists rotate. He's got an ab articulation as well. You can see underneath there details on his shirt and tie, which is pretty neat, in his belt. He's got waist articulation there. Legs go forward and back and out to the side. He rotates at the lower thigh. He does break up the sculpt of the pants there, the way they lie on his body. He does have a single knee joint, as well as a very limited ankle articulation forward and back. So not very posable per se, but Alfred's not very active, I guess, so I wouldn't expect him to get into too many dynamic poses. Now, I would have liked a little bit more with the figure. He doesn't come with any accessories, and some would be nice, like maybe I don't know, a serving tray that he could hold. Maybe a golf club like he used against the League of Shadows guys when he saved Bruce Wayne from the fire at Wayne Manor. Remember, he took the golf club and hit the guy over the head and dragged Bruce Wayne out of the fire. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with finding him. Again, I had a little bit of a venture getting him. I had bought some cables that I didn't need for hookups to a new television, and I bought them at Kmart. So I went over there just as the Kmart was closing, about 6:30 at night, and it had been a nice day, but as I was heading into the store, it was getting a little bit overcast and cloudy, and I didn't pay much mind to it, but I knew that Kmart had an exclusive version of Batman that came with some blueprints, 3 blueprints to all the vehicles, the Bat Pod, and the Batmobile, the Tumbler. And so if I was going to rebuy the Batman, I wanted it to be the Kmart exclusive one with those things in it. And not just get the figure for no reason at all. At least I would have those 3 blueprints to, wash away some of the bitter taste of having to buy it again. So that's why I figured I'd search for some of the figures there. And lo and behold, I found several Batmans, but not the Kmart exclusive ones, just the regular ones for some reason. I found 2 Banes, and behind those 2 Banes, I found Alfred Pennyworth, and I was relieved. Now, I was excited, but I still wanted to look around for something else. I can't remember what it was. I think it might have been, I was looking for some of the Lego blind minifigure packs. And so I took about 5 more minutes to go up to the register, the return register, and go to my return. And I was very happy because when I came into the store, there was a line of people at the register to do returns. But by the time I had gotten back up there, there was nobody. So I just walked right up to him, I put my new purchases down. I pulled out the bag that had the stuff that I wanted to return, and I started telling the clerk I want this and I want to exchange them for that. And she literally motioned to pick up the scanner, and the power went out. And yes, the darkness that had started to, the clouds that had started to form outside, turned into a huge rainstorm, and it knocked out the power for about 5 minutes there. And which I wasn't too, I wasn't too worried about. But I knew that I was on a bit of a time limit. I wanted to get going and get back to my house for something. I take care of my uncle. He needed, didn't want to leave him too long. And so I waited 5 minutes, and the power goes back on. Unfortunately, the computers, I guess they're really antiquated. The system there takes a while to reboot. So it took about 15 minutes for the system to reboot. They got it to where they would accept new purchases, but not returns for some reason. So they called the manager out. She does some trick, and we're about to do the transaction for the second time when what happens? The power goes out again. Yes. At that point, I was just like, oh, come on. And yeah, it was any other circumstances, it would be humorous. But I'm not waiting. I didn't want to wait for the 5 minutes for the power to come back on again. I didn't want to have to wait for another 20 minutes for the computer to reboot, and once again, only to be told off because I guess that store closed at 7, and it was getting close. So the manager decided to close the store for the day. And I'm like, oh, great. So what I did was I had them save my purchases, the Alfred figure and the 2 little Lego minifigure blind packs that I got. And I fully expecting them not to be there in the morning, I left them in a bad, I was left at the mercy of the stock people, the employees of Kmart, which, come on, they're not, they're not exactly stellar in the customer service area. So I left the figure at their mercy to come back the next day and at opening, which I did, 8 o'clock sharp, and I had a sinking feeling as I came into the register area and told the girl there what had happened last night, and she was looking around. The bag was not in the place where the employee had put it the previous night. So I'm already thinking, oh, they just put it right the back and, sort of said, screw that guy. And, but then she did find the bag tucked off in some corner somewhere. So, long story short, I did manage to finally get the figure. And there. So that's my little story to go along with that. Anyway, so if you find an Alfred, if you find 2 Alfreds, buy them, because you probably will not see him again. If you see 2 of them and you have a friend, buy one for him, and if you know someone who collects these and you run across it, just buy it, because these are one of the rare figures out there. So help people out. Try and find this guy for them, if not for yourself. So anyway, stay tuned for more of these Batman Movie Masters figures. I'm on the hunt for Catwoman now. So stay tuned, and until next time, I'll see you.